way of us to grow. So as long as the companies have the same vision, that you trust each other, and you know that they're not going to change, because Takara is a much bigger company than Mutual Trading, but they came in, nothing changed. They brought in tech, and they brought much more human resources that we could ever grow on our own, but we have the same vision. They didn't know anything about food. We were professionals in the food. They were more into the liquor, and so it just kind of blended well together. So partnership of having the same vision and the same goals is probably the way to grow each other's companies and be safe, not being taken over as such.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Next question, Jessica, up there. By the way, I think the gentleman that Atsuko was talking about, is it Fred Wada?
Yes.
Fred Isamu Wada is the man who helped bring the Japanese team to the Olympics.
Hello, I'm Jessica Snow. I'm from Washington, D.C. area, so I have to ask this question. But I'm curious, from each of your perspectives, have the recent tariffs changed anything about Japanese food imports into the U.S.? And what's the pricing, sourcing, consumer demand, or has that impacted your business on the day-to-day?
You can always count on Jessica for great questions. She should have been a journalist. Atsuko, let's start with you.
The USDA is so strict and so good about at the border to ensure the safety of the foods. Right now, we're having problems with shrimp, and you'll start seeing shrimp disappear in menus for a while. But USDA is very good about checking the products. As far as the prices are concerned, we have a buffer. However, we cannot assume all of the price increases, therefore we have to pass it on to the clients, right? science. And then they pass it on to you. But it happened when wages went up. People were saying, yes, raise wages, minimum wage. Well, that's good for people who are receiving it. However, it will impact you as well. So I think the whole if something changes in the whole chain of dynamics, it will impact everybody. And we just have to be responsible and not do it suddenly, but to do it in phases so that it does not put anybody out of business, really.
Remi, anything to add there?
Yeah. So we actually, to Atsuko's point, we don't do it dramatically. We're very mindful on when we do it, but we really look at the competitive landscape too to make sure that we're not, overpricing the items. But yeah, it is a very delicate balance of making sure that we're, still making those margins at the same time. We want to make sure Yama is affordable and the quality is fresh. So that is our top priority first and foremost. But it is a challenge.
Great. I want to get through as many questions as possible here.
Hi. Hi. Hello. Check. Hello. I can project my voice.
Hello. Okay, I won't have to do that. Hi. So my question is for all of you. We've seen the rise in sort of Japanese products like yuzu go viral, right? Yuzu cocktails. I saw a yuzu espresso tonic at a coffee shop yesterday, or like lychee. What, for each one of you, what do you see as the next unknown to, I guess, the general public in America, unknown Japanese product that you think is the next wave?
Let's start with Kelsey.
Yes. I think when I visit Japan, and I'm there maybe 4 or 5 times a year, what strikes me as Japan is so far ahead from the United States in terms of their instant microwavable food, light years away from the United States. we fear the microwave here. I mean, it's like TV dinner, like who said? So there are products in Japan, and I guess I'll have to put a little plug in for Nagatanien, one of our partners. They have developed a line of products that are already widely available in the marketplace, and they're not the only ones, that are fully formed packets with a kind of special retorted plastic material filled with sauce. And you can take it, you can cut up raw chicken, put it inside, throw it in the microwave, it comes out as fully cooked chicken. You can throw dry spaghetti in there, microwave it, it comes out as a plate full of spaghetti. So I don't know if it is the next product to hit America, but I hope so, because I love my microwave, and I love my time, and I would love to get fresh chicken and spaghetti from a bag.
Here, here. Remy, what about you?
I think this goes into the drinks, but I think highball, I know it's already here, but I think because we're looking at consumers just looking for lighter, more refreshing alternatives, highball has less alcohol, less calories than those sugary drinks. And right, if you're looking for an alcohol, it's a little better for you. So I think we're investing, we're actually having our 4th location in Sherman Oaks, where we're gonna have a bar and we're gonna have like a highball machine. So I think highball is the next drink to hit.
Atsuko, what about you?
You know, Japan is such a small country, compact, and yet they've got 47 prefectures. With all the geographical differences, each prefecture has its own special product. I don't know what it is, but what happened was that in the Shogun days, there's a Shogun and all these prefectures, or they weren't prefectures, but all the territories, they were vying for the Shogun's word of preference. And so they would present things that are, oh, this is the best udon from Kagawa, and this is the best soba from whatever. And so each prefecture delved so much into perfecting whatever they were specialists in. So there are so many hidden Japanese foods in each of the prefectures that I would like to see. But I think in the general public, matcha is in right now, but I think the next one, which is already starting, is hojicha.
Sorry.
I'll just answer from my vantage point of somebody who works at America's Test Kitchen, which historically has been a food media brand that is concerned with American cuisine. But you know, the main audience for America's Test Kitchen is home cooks. So it's always interesting for me to see, okay, what Japanese food makes it into our roster on PBS or in our other shows that the company feels like, okay, this dish is ready to show to you know, what is ostensibly your average American household. And so interestingly, you know, I think miso is becoming a much more regular condiment that we're using in some of our recipes. Incidentally, also shiokoji. You can make a very good steak that tastes kind of like, I don't eat beef, so you know, but you know, the dry aged or whatever, the mushroom porcini kind of funkiness of shiokoji, I think, is used for chicken, marinating steaks. And so that's kind of like what I'm seeing. My personal hope is that natto goes viral, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Maybe with marketing prowess it can.
Japangeless.
All right, next question. Hugh. Oh, last question. All right, it's better be good.
I'll pressure you, me. Yeah. So as like leaders in the industry, right, complacency is like a tough thing to deal with. What gives you guys the courage to try new things and kind of keep going, knowing that some ideas might not work, and then some might. So what gives you guys the courage to do that?
Okay, rapid fire. Let's try to answer with one sentence. So, Remi, let's start with you.
With Me Too, you're dead.
Say it again?
Oh, with Me Too, if you're doing the same thing as someone else, like you're dead, so you need to keep innovating.
Let's go.
Food is fun. Okay, 30 years ago when I had these, sorry, when I used to do sake tastings, I would say, you know, why do you like Japanese food? And they would say, oh, because it's clean. It's very healthy and it makes me feel like I'm living a clean life and it's clean. These days when I, talk to, 40, under 40 folks, they say it's fun. So fun.
And Kelsey?
You have to stay curious. Always.
All right, you heard it right here. With that, let's give all of our panelists a big round of
Awesome. Great, thank you so much, Yumi and the panelists. Let's give them one more round of applause for that. So I know this was already mentioned, but tomorrow's lunch will be from Yama Sushi, so we'll be able to eat their delicious bento. And we're very grateful to Mutual Trading Atsuko, who's going to be providing some of the sake tomorrow night as well. So we're definitely going to try some of that. And I just want to also shout out Kelsey because she did change her travel plans so she could be here today. So we're very grateful to be part of this. So I think we're going to take one group picture and then we're going to transition into the next one.
Transition.
I need a chest run in. This is my, I'll take notes.
Okay, so with that, you heard a lot about food, and I know you asked some questions about kind of what's next and where you can buy things. So I think that bridges perfectly into the next speaker, who's going to kind of show where you can go in Little Tokyo to find some of these things. So I think Amy is going to go ahead and introduce the next panel.
MODERATOR.
Okay, well, one housekeeping item is that we are going on a walking tour in just a little bit. So when you exit out, if you can just leave your name tags on the table, we'll collect them back tonight, and then, or this afternoon. And then when you exit out, we also have this little raffle ticket. So if you eat or drink and support a small business, shop and purchase omiyage in Little Tokyo, and then take a picture of yourself to remember this visit, write your name on this, check them off, and then tomorrow after our last panel, there's a chance to win some really great prizes donated from Japangelist. So you definitely want to complete these and have a chance for that. Also, when you get those, there's going to be a little sticker on the back. This denotes what group you are going to be in because we have 4 walking groups. So with that, I want to introduce our next set of presenters who are so gracious with their time. So Little Tokyo Community Council is a nonprofit of the nonprofit coalition of the small businesses, the residents, the nonprofits, the museums, everything that makes up Little Tokyo. So they make sure that there's a collective voice of our stakeholders to make sure that we can protect and preserve the Little Tokyo that you see today, and really be able to continue to our legacy, but also build for the future too. So we have here Kristen Fukushima, the director, and Kisa Ito, the communications manager, marketing manager. But the 2 of them, along with their team, do so much to really support the Little Tokyo community. So I'm going to hand it off to them. You all have their bios in our speakers, but I guess one fun fact, aside from getting to be their friend, is that she is probably one of the largest BTS fans out there. So if you love BTS, this is your go-to person. And she is a master cricket crafter. But they really are. You'll get a chance to learn more about Little Tokyo Community Council, and then they will lead us on this tour and introduce more.
Great, thank you so much, Amy. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Little Tokyo. I'm sure you've already heard this before, but Little Tokyo is 142 years old, established in 1884. We are one of the last few remaining historic Japantowns in the country, and also one of the oldest neighborhoods in Los Angeles. And I think when we think about that, it really comes from a place of it takes a lot of work to get to this point. As a country, as a community, we've lost so many spaces, various Japantowns across the state, across the country, other ethnic enclaves, especially in a city like LA that is constantly being destroyed and remade. It really takes a lot of resiliency and work from the community to make sure we are still here both today and then for our future. So with that, Little Tokyo for us is a place that we have really dedicated our organization to. The Little Tokyo Community Council was founded in 1999. This is at a time where it might be hard to imagine now, and I guess if everyone's under 40, then some of you will not have experienced this. But in the 90s, the Little Tokyo neighborhood was going through a lot of hard times. In particular, like if you think about First Street, the only business open was Fugetsudo. They're the only brick and mortar open on that entire street. And so really just think about it as a time when folks were afraid that the community was just going to be completely gone. So after some major changes happened in the neighborhood, folks came together. Irene Hirano, who I'm sure you're all familiar with from the US-Japan Council, but also was the executive director here at the museum, along with Bill Watanabe from the Little Tokyo Service Center. Bill.
He's right there.
Hello there, Bill. They came together to form the Little Tokyo Community Council with the understanding that this neighborhood is really the bigger picture, and we might have our own different kind of lanes and interests, but if we don't come together as a community to work together, then it's really easy to lose things. So it initially started as a place for conversation, discussion about what's going on, making sure folks are on the same page, and then also a place for discussion. And then as a lot of changes happened in the early 2000s, the city tried to build a jail in Little Tokyo. It was this realization that through a coalition of all the stakeholders, we have the opportunity to take that coalition and mobilize it and organize for the best interests of the neighborhood. So actually, LTCC and our partners were able to stop the jail in the early 2000s, which is really great because it's one of the first big wins of the neighborhood after decades and generations of fighting against things, or not fighting against things and not always winning those fights. Today, we have evolved a lot. There has been a lot of changes in the last 20 years for the neighborhood, from new residential apartment buildings to metro stations opening. I think we call it our second wave of gentrification that we're going through right now. But I think what we really see is that by the community being together and being strong, this is our best chance at resiliency, to the point that we're often looked at as a model for other communities of how do you really come together, support each other, have a vision, and then fight for that community's future. So that's just a little bit about the background of the organization. I think Keith is going to talk a little bit more about how do we do all that.
Great. Thank you for having us. Special thank you to Amy and Kevin and to all of you for welcoming us to speak to you at your very important event. We are just cricketing shirts in the office today. We are always trying to do our work in a variety of ways. You might imagine that with an organization like this, we are very much evolving due to what the different pressures are in the neighborhood at the time. So Kristen mentioned the jail, that the community council was fighting against that to make sure that that space would not be, filled with a jail blocking Nishihonganji from the rest of the neighborhood. It would have been right there in that path. So things like that, as well as the metro station, the regional connector that you'll see, it's nice and shiny right now. It took a lot of time to get there. LTCC fought for the regional connector to be built underground, and it was supposed to be above ground, which would have been an even larger impact on the neighborhood. When the fights were going on, trying to get support for Metro and recognition of what the community was losing and what was at risk, we fought for a mitigation fund, and that mitigation fund supported and created a program called Go Little Tokyo, which maybe you've heard of, and if you have, that's really great, thank you so much. And if not, we'd love for you to follow us and support on Instagram mostly, Go Little Tokyo. This is how we try to engage the broader community. It really became a special tool for us during the pandemic. At the peak of the pandemic, people were really looking to support their favorite communities. We were able to bring people together from across the nation, the world, who were just curious, how is Little Tokyo doing? What are the legacy businesses doing? So that's really been our tool. And over the years, even though we are not receiving mitigation funds from Metro anymore because the station is built, we are still doing our best to maintain that program so that we can continue getting the word out to different stakeholders, whether they're in the community, physically, or just in spirit. So we have a lot of different ways that we do the Go Little Tokyo programming. It's through the social media, the website, that kind of outreach that hopefully can reach beyond just the immediate community or the people in the region who are able to come to events. We also work a lot with the businesses in the neighborhood. We do a lot of small business support and work with legacy businesses that hopefully you will learn about and see on the tours today. And then we also partner with a lot of community organizations. So today in particular, we are partnering with an organization called the Little Tokyo Historical Society. They are very special to us because we partner with them every year, multiple times a year, and they are celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. So we are really excited that you all will get to have these amazing tours led by 3 Little Tokyo Historical Society members and 2 of our staff members, Nicole and Hana, today. Would you like to say something?
Thank you. So I'm Mike Okamura, president of LTHS. Little Tokyo's in good hands with these 2 young ladies. And all of you out there, I remember when I was your age, roughly, I was already involved in Little Tokyo, but it's really in good hands. So we're very happy to lead these tours. You're gonna learn a lot from us. It's gonna be fun. You'll see the legacy businesses, and just come with an open mind.
Yes, thank you very much. She wants to talk about one more thing.
I'm so sorry. The last program I realized I should mention that we do because it's in partnership with the Japanese American National Museum as well as Little Tokyo Service Center, which Bill is also the founder of, and many other things. And then the Japanese American Culture Community Center is something called Sustainable Little Tokyo. You can look it up online. It's a really great program, but it is how do we, in today's era, really think about sustainability. So Sustainable Tokyo for Future Generations, defining sustainability through both cultural and historic, but also economic and then environmental. So what is that intersection of arts, climate, and community as a new structure for resiliency, visioning, and really being forward-thinking with what we do, and building off generations and generations of work of whether you call it preservation or you call it something else. This is kind of the new way we're approaching it. So I just wanted to mention that because it is our partnership with the museum. Great to work together. Okay, and I think with that we are going to do our tours. Do you want me to explain things? Okay. Okay. So I think these are the stickers on the back.
They'll look at a piece of paper.
Okay, as you will get a piece of paper, there will be these stickers on the back. This will be how you divide yourself up into your groups. Am I doing this right? Excellent. And then from there, we'll be dividing out between the different tour guides. One of them is secretly embedded within you all right now. Bill is in the back. The rest of us are down here, and then we'll be taking different pathways. So each tour will have a little different flavor and bit of information. You can all share with each other afterwards, like, what did you hear? And we'll all meet back at the Budokan and then continue your fun journey, your U40 conference. Okay, so I think with that, folks can start. I'll pass over to Amy to facilitate you.
Yeah, so everyone, we're gonna be exiting out of here. We won't be returning back here, so take all of your stuff. Leave your name tags at the table, get a little raffle ticket which has the color sticker on it, and then enjoy the walk, and we'll see you at the Budokan.